I'm sure if you're watching this, it's extremely exciting. There should be some content coming soon once people join. But right now, nothing. Ooh, someone's watching. Hi. Hello. Making sure that you know it's still working. According to what my little stats here say, there are 2 people watching. We have like 4 or 5 that said they're going to be here. So, well, now we're down to 1. So I lost somebody. Must have been pretty boring. It is pretty boring. I haven't started yet. Just kind of waiting for people to show up. I've opened up the chat room. If you go to the top left corner of your Google Plus Hangout window, there's a blue box that says chat. I've opened that up, and you can click on that. It'll show the chat on the right. I hope it allows you to then type and see who's there. I'm going to add myself. I have a second account. I'm going to add that and see if that gives me any insight as to what's going on. I'll start with content shortly. So if you're watching, you'll have at least something educational that'll be going on. not the one I want. So far it's showing one viewer, but I don't know if that's actually how many there are. It's a little weird. So I'll be starting content in just a couple minutes. I think next time we'll probably do just regular Hangouts because I know those work, and that way we can definitely see each other. This is going to be more of a one-way communication. Maybe I'll do both. Maybe I'll do like a lecture in this format, and then I'll do discussions in a much more intimate Hangout to where you can see me and I can see you. So again, if you're watching, I will start in just a minute. All right, well, that works. If you're in right now, go up to the top left of the Google Hangout interface, especially if you're on a PC, and it should say chat. It's a little blue box. If you click on that, it will allow you to then open up a window on the right side where you can actually type in something and say it to me, since right now it doesn't look like any video is going to be coming through. So, but it definitely worked. Actually, I can see a video. All right, well, it's 4:37, so let me start with talking about what I want to talk about in this. I want to go over some of the things that you need to make sure you know for the class, and that includes the posting of articles in the Facebook group. I want to go over the social media production assignment that you have to go through for the next 7 weeks. And then I'll probably touch on a couple of other things as well. Next second, I'm trying to. Let me check my volume levels here on this other computer to see if it is. See if it's actually working. Yeah, it is. Volume seems to be working on my end, so if you're not able to hear me, I'm not sure what to tell you. Here. You can also, if you want to talk to me, you can also use the introduction discussion as well. So that's another possible way that you can reach me if you need to talk to me during this. So many distractions all over the place. I'm going to go through this, and hopefully it'll be recorded on YouTube, better than the 11 minutes of me just sitting there that was there before. But I'm going to go through this and talk about the various elements of the class. And if we can't get this to actually work this way, the video on YouTube should work fine. And then we'll move it to regular Google Hangouts next time, because I know those worked. I tested those out earlier, so those actually did work, and we'll have to do it in smaller kind of chunks to make sure that it does work. So I'm going to share screens here with you. I'm going to show you what I have, and we'll talk about the various elements of the course at this point. So first off, I want to show you this. In the syllabus, there's a section called class involvement, And that basically measures how involved you are with what's going on in the course. For instance, the digital class attendance, just making sure that when we have these discussions and lectures, you're there or you try to be there. And then any kind of interactions on questions I might post in the discussion board, all that stuff will be monitored and evaluated to make sure that you're continuing to be a part of the course and actually doing the kind of stuff that I need you to do from a discussion perspective and involvement perspective. There's also a Facebook article posting part of the involvement measure. And what this is I asked you to join the Facebook group, and most of you have already joined the Facebook group. But what I want you to do in it is I want you, as you're looking through various pieces of social media information, is I want you to find articles that are really interesting to you, and I want you to share those articles. You can share as many as you want, but I'll count 2 a week. So every week I'll count and see how many people have posted, and I'll give you points based on your interactivity. So 2 articles will be counted, and then you can comment as often as you want. So a way for you to stand out as far as the amount of involvement and participation is for you to comment on other people's articles, which of course means you have to read them to get an idea what they're talking about. You won't be directly tested on any of that material, but it certainly does fit with all that we're talking about. And it will bolster your knowledge so that you'll be much better off when it comes to talking about some of the things we do in this class. In addition, I have this as an assignment because this is exactly the way that social media managers learn more things about social media. They spend a good half an hour of their day at the very beginning of the day, and they just sit down and they go through their Twitter feed and they look at the articles that have been shared there, their LinkedIn feed, and they take in the curated content that others have passed on, and they learn from that. So much of what you'll find in this class is my attempt to try to get you to learn like a social media manager would learn. So right here it says if you post, you get credit for up to 2 articles a week. You'll also notice that it says that you want to comment, and I'll calculate all that stuff and I'll add it up. So that's the first thing I wanted to touch on. The next thing that I want to touch on is the production assignment. So I'm going to go through the production assignment and give you an idea as far as what I want you to do on this. And so if you, hopefully you read this already, but I'm going to explain everything really clearly, hopefully really clearly. We'll find out. But there are 3 main elements to the social media production assignment. And this is a summer-long, 7-week-long assignment that I want you to start now, basically, this week. I want you to sign up for Twitter. I want you to sign up for LinkedIn. And I want you to pick any other social media site. Before you start using it, though, I want you to email me with which social media site you've actually chosen. So send me an email and say, I want to do Pinterest. I want to do Yelp. I want to do Runkeeper, whatever social site that's interesting to you. It doesn't have to be one of the biggest ones. It can just be something that you're used to. And I want you to go through and I want you to join it, and I want you to be engaging in it. I want you to go through and learn how it works, how the other users work. I want you to do all that stuff. I think that's extremely important for you to have a feel for how these different platforms work. So let's go with Twitter first. I want you to join Twitter. Twitter is probably a little different than what you have thought of it if you don't use it on a regular basis. And even if you do use it on a regular basis, I think maybe this is going to be a little different than how you've been using it. I want you to use it as a way to try to understand how followers are met, how information is shared, how you can take information and then reshare it to others. I want you to get a feel for how the functionality of the site actually works. You don't have to do that in a business sense. You can do that in anything that you're interested in. So if you're interested in politics and that's what you want your content to mostly be, then you can do that. If you choose some kind of a business topic, then I want you to, of course, include the course hashtag. It says in the instructions right here, it says hashtag NKU MKT 370. So I want you to include that in your tweets so that I can take a look and see what you're doing, and maybe we can get some trending going on. But I want you to engage professionally, meet others, have them join with you, and I want you to maximize your existence on Twitter in 7 weeks. I know it's challenging, but my number standards are lower for 7 weeks than they would be for 16 weeks, of course. I also want you to create a LinkedIn profile, and I want you to make sure that it's really good. This is an extremely important tool for most business professionals. It's a way for you to get exposure to potential job hunters. or those Joes with jobs trying to find job candidates. And it's also a good way for you to be insightful as far as what do you have to offer, and make sure that you've thought about what your main points of differentiation are as an individual. So I want you to go on LinkedIn, and I want you to have a full profile, and I'll talk about the other things you need to do on there. Of course, there's the third social media site of your choice. This one is a little different because it's not as structured as the first two, but the idea is still the same. I want you to go on the site. I want you to get followers. I want you to follow people. I want you to share information in every possible way that you can. So I want you to be very active in these different sites. What are you doing with all this? Well, here's what you're doing with all this. You're going to write a paper about it at the very end. So in the last week of class, you're going to turn in a paper that tells three stories about how you use Twitter, LinkedIn, and whatever, let's say Yelp, doesn't have to be, whatever other site that you decided to use. You've used them, and I want you to tell a story about where you were this week, the beginning of the summer semester, and then where you're at 7 weeks later. So I want you to talk about how you gained followers, how you started following more people, how often you tweeted, what kind of tweets you had. Not all of them, don't share them all, but what kind of tweets did you post? What kind of tweets did you see that you then shared again? What things did you favorite? Did you post anything that was favorited by others? I want you to create links, lists, and things of that nature. I want you to post a video and pictures so that you understand how this stuff works. As you're doing those things, save them. Take screenshots of them, put them in a paper, and then the paper should tell a story about how you started and where you ended and what your journey was on each of these three sites. So it's a write-up. It's highly recommended that you start it today because again, I want a starting point and I want an ending point. So I want you to start now and get screenshots of what everything looks like now, even if you just started out, so that you can show what progress you've had in 7 weeks. On this page, it's got a number of things. It's got how it's going to be graded. And then it's also got these, which are pretty important. And these are like checklists that you can use. So for Twitter, you have to have an account. You don't get anything for it. You have to fill out your account details. You have to customize your landing page. I'll grade those. But I want you to follow accounts. And if you follow a certain number of accounts, I'll give you more points than if you only followed a few. So if you only followed 15 accounts during the 7 weeks, that's not much. You can follow a lot. You could follow thousands, literally, if you had enough time. But I want you to follow a good number of them. And they can be whatever your interest is. I want you to tweet regularly. This says more than 10. So in 7 weeks, that's a little over 1.3 or so, 1.25 per week. That's not much. You can tweet that often. It's just a tweet a week or 2 tweets a week. That'll cover you. Share articles. I want you to get people to follow you. There's only 10. You only need to get 10 people to follow you. And I'd like them to be some kind of professional base. Because you can get 10 of your friends and family to do that. I'm not interested in that. I want you to try to get outside people to follow you. And then other things I want you to try to do. So as you go through and do these, chronicle them, write them into your story. Same with LinkedIn, different things, but the same basic concept. Complete your profile. What does it look like? Have connections. Update your status. Not required as often as Twitter. Join groups, post in groups, list your skills, be endorsed on your skills. This can be professional and friends and family. So you'll notice there's no checklist for the third social site. It's because I can't write one for every single one of them. So I want you just to make sure that you're engaged, involved, and you write a story that tells your journey. All right, what else do I have for you? Do I have anything else for you? I think I probably have something else for you. Let's see. Let's go to content. So from a content perspective, we are right here. So this is our our syllabus right here. Do a screenshot. Give me this. All right, there's your Blackboard site. 3, 2, 1. There it is. This is where it starts. Pardon me. This is where it actually starts. On the start here, syllabus part. And you've already been here, I hope. You've gotten this far. And so here's your course schedule. I'm going to change it a little bit. Where it says virtual lecture here on Wednesdays, I'm going to change that to virtual discussion at the end of the week. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday is when I'll do those discussions. All your content will come first, and then complete your assignments, and then we'll discuss things, and then you'll have your quiz, which I will post sometime today, and it'll be available through Monday. That'll happen every single week. Hopefully you've already done your class checklist. Here's the syllabus that hopefully you've read and memorized. Don't need to memorize it, but here's the production assignment I just talked about. This is a video that shows about me. It's not a video, it's really just a PowerPoint slideshow, but it's about me and it tells you about where I've come and the things that I've done. And then there's also, I made this video about how to go through this site. So I did a video that basically shows what I'm talking about right now as well. Your assignments will be listed under this one. Your discussion boards are here, as you've already seen, I hope. I've got 5 new people that have introduced themselves. I've already applied to most of the people that have introduced themselves. So if you have, I've talked to you on here. 19 of you of the 30 plus have done the definition. This is your assignment for the week. Please make sure that you get in there and do that. There's one more piece of content that I'm going to post near the end that's going to sum all this stuff up. Your quiz will appear in the quizzes section here, as will a review sheet. Your groups are already formed, because next week, if you go back to that schedule, you'll notice it says Big 6 social media presentations. I'll email you about this as well. But I've put you in teams. I've already assigned you the different social sites that I want you to work on. And I've told you right here all the stuff you need to find. So you need to write a history, how the site works, who uses it, and a business model. So divide that up amongst your group members. But here are the various groups right here. So I've already broken you off and stuck you in groups so that you can work on this project, start working on this once you finish this week's work. By the end of the week, I want you to have had a blog or a wiki. Which is it? I don't remember which one I made you do. But I want a wiki, I think. But I want you to have worked together to create a wiki that's got a lot of information about those 4 main topics. There's also a part that's called Other Social Media Assignment right there. I'll post this as well, and you'll have to write one yourself. So I want you to write one all by yourself, as to, but not as long as the other one, but you'll write one that talks about where it was, where it came from, and how it's used. So if you go back there, this is where the course topics are, right there. So I want you to make sure that you've clicked on this, and I want you to make sure you've gone through all this content. History of the internet, history of the web. These are PowerPoint shows that I put together. This is just for printing so that you have the slides available. These are additional things like articles. This is a great video featuring Leonard Kleinrock, who was one of the leading professors that actually created the internet. And he went through and he tells the story about the very first internet connection. This story is amazing to me. It's absolutely fascinating how in 1969 they were able to take this very theoretical concept and make it real. So real that today we're kind of like, oh wow, yeah, the internet, big deal. We have that. It was a huge deal then because nobody had any idea how to share data amongst computers. So a great story. I really love that story. History of the social media is right here as well as some articles to get you a little background as to how social media has evolved. It's really not. It's new, but it's not new. I mean, it goes all the way back into the 70s when people were sharing information on bulletin boards. We basically do the same thing today. It's just a lot quicker. And then there's some bonus stuff. These are really cool videos that you can watch that'll teach you a lot more about the internet, about the first BBSs. When you have a chance, check that out. See if it's anything of interest for you. All right. So I see it's listed as 3 viewers. I'm not exactly sure how many are out there. That's why this is going to be, I'm not sure I'll do it like this again. And if I do, it'll mostly be unidirectional. I really want this to be a discussion kind of a thing to where we can talk and you can ask me questions and I can answer them. So I'm going to take this one and this one's going to get posted. So it'll have all the information I definitely want. This weekend, so tomorrow morning at 9, and then sometime Saturday, sometime Sunday, I'm going to have like an open hangout forum to where you can reach out to me and in an actual, just a hangout, a video chat hangout, and we can get up to 10 people in a hangout. And I want you to talk to me and ask me questions because I'm sure you probably have a bunch. As we go through the content, this will be a little bit different because next week we'll have the bit different social sites, and I can ask you questions about implementation and things of that nature. So I can have actual discussions about, well, how would you do this? What would you do with this? What's important about this? So it'll be different, but this I wanted to make sure that we did to try to get a feel for how this might work. So if you're one of my watchers out there, it's hi. Hi. I wish I could see you and see you waving back. Actually, if you were waving right now, it's actually kind of funny because I can't see you and you just waved at your computer. But I'll take it as a wave. I will. So I'll post some more of these, and we'll have some actual discussion type of hangouts. But that's all I got for you right now. So thanks for fighting with the technological issues, and I hope you got something out of this. And I'll be in touch multiple times, as you've seen already. All right. You can message me, follow up on this if you wish. Ask me questions, tell me what you did or didn't see. I'm going to check to make sure the YouTube stuff is working fine. So you can watch it again, me talking. Whee. But other than that, have yourself a great weekend and be productive. Let's have a good 7 weeks. See you guys.